was that one most outlandish idea that the team had which eventually turned into the product?
One of them would be a female condom. The sexual wellness is a category is entirely about men. Therefore, there has to be a way that women get a charge. We coined a term called Domina. Domina is the last three words of condom and vagina. We launched it on the World Trade Day in peak of COVID in 2020, and then it suddenly skyrocketed. It's literally giving the charge of sexual health into a woman's hand.
But can I ask you that one customer feedback which you really cherish a lot, which kind of meant a lot to you as a team?
When we go for customer interactions, it gives us goosebumps because people say that their lives have entirely changed because of using some of our products. What we have built over the years is a solid, funnel of education and awareness, right? Yes. Our categories, they were non-existent, so we had to educate people about why they needed to use it.
Hey Rishit, pleasure to meet you. So I think what we wanted to do was have a very free-flowing conversation with you. All of us at GobbleCube really admire the journey that PeeSafe has had. So just wanted to kind of, as a founder, get your thoughts around that and how that journey and the challenges that come with that journey have been, right? But starting with a few, how did it all start, right? What kind of brought the idea of PeeSafe into being, and how do you see this evolving? Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, thank you, Manas, and the whole GobbleCube team for sort of coming over and being such an important part of our growth journey. See, the story of PeeSafe started back in 2013 when my other two co-founders, Vikas and Srijna, were husband and wife, and they were traveling. They were on a road trip. They were going to Dwarkadish in Gujarat. And unfortunately, Srijna felt sick. She got UTI. Now, and so severe that she was flown back to Delhi. She was hospitalized. And the doctor said it could have happened because even on a travel, especially road trips, you tend to use a lot of public restrooms. And the reason for UTIs are various. One is, of course, you hold on to peeing, you don't drink enough water, and if you sit on an unsanitized toilet. All of these kind of tied up to just your ability to actually use a washroom or a clean or sanitized restroom, right? And Vikas and Srijna, they looked at some of the solutions in the West. There were some sanitizers which basically you take sanitize on a toilet paper, use your hand to, clean the seat and then dispose it off. In India, nobody wants to touch the seat, even with a tissue paper. Half the time or most of the time, there's no bins to actually dispose it off, and if you put it in the WC, it'll clog the toilet, right? So that's when they discovered an option that how can there be a spray where there's absolutely no contact with the seat. You can spray it from a distance, and then it evaporates itself so that there's no liquid or a wet feeling when you come in contact, and it's also safe for your skin eventually, right? So solving these 3-4 very important challenges, they developed this product, and they were scaling it, or rather selling it as one of the product, and such a great innovation being sold in one of the e-commerce platforms that they were building called Safety Cart. And in 2017 I met them, and then I think the whole idea of building PeeSafe from just a product into a brand came into being, and eventually I joined as a co-founder and started scaling the business along with them. So it's a very interesting play where a product or other need transformed into a product. That product became a label of sorts. And then when we realized that, okay, we're solving women hygiene in general, how do we create a brand out of it? And so it's been like nearly a decade long journey for us. Yeah.
No, awesome. I think, and it is phenomenal. And I think, as you pointed out, what was the genesis of PeeSafe is how you, at least as an outside observer, we've seen it is continuous innovation that PeeSafe is kind of recognized itself as, right? But let me ask you this question, because again, I think a lot of these conversations start on the serious stuff and end on the fun stuff. Let's flip that equation and let's start with some of the fun stuff, right? So a couple of questions that I wanted to ask you was, one is, what was that one most outlandish idea that the team had which eventually turned into the product? I mean, one, of course, the first one that you mentioned was a personal experience, but like as you have continued to innovate, what was those out there ideas which turned into products?
I think one of them would be a female condom. We were doing a lot of stuff around women health and hygiene, and folks said that the sexual wellness as a category is entirely about men. Like, men decide what condom to use, they go in and shop, they get the lubricant, and women have no agency or say in this whole process. Moreover, in more cases, men don't like to use contraceptive, and therefore there have to be a way that women get a charge. So we coined a term called Domina. Domina is the last 3 words of condom and vagina. Right? And that's when we launched a brand with the highest seller of female condom in the country. Before us, there was nobody marketing this category. There was nobody actually rather building that product. To be honest, so we launched it on the World AIDS Day in peak of COVID in 2020, and then it suddenly skyrocketed. And so a lot of people thought that it was just a PR sort of concept. It'll die down eventually, but without even actually putting any serious marketing spends on it, we see that this product organically kind of sells, and now it's selling in nearly 10,000 stores. Approx all quick commerce platforms are stocking it up and selling it. So it was a idea that sounded very wacky, because if you see the product, you'll be like, how would a girl insert it? To be honest, but then when there are people who actually try it for the first time, now they feel empowered because they don't have to negotiate with their partners for using a contraception, right?
Yeah,
it's literally giving the charge of sexual health into a woman's hand.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, a phenomenal example of a perfect product market fit.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sure as part of your journey of building out these innovative products, right, you would have received tons of customer feedback. And as a company, it definitely looks like you're one which listens to those feedbacks, right? But can I ask you that one customer feedback which you really cherish a lot, which kind of meant a lot to you as a team?
I think there was one instance we were... very early into our journey, when we decided we want to solve overall women hygiene. See, as a startup, you're always looking for more and more categories, or rather larger TAM categories to tap into. We were actually doing the opposite of that. We were identifying smaller TAM categories which were categories of future. Yes. And we were trying to build them early so that even when they become large, we still have that first mover advantage, right? So there was one category called Panty liners. We spoke to a bunch of our existing customers. First, we filtered out who are the ones who are actually using this category. The number was obnoxiously low. So we spoke like 7 people, and everybody said that they're using it, but they're not satisfied with the product. The reason for that is because the product is so tiny, and it's also folded into 3 parts, right? So the actual packaging, if I were to show you of some of the other brands, it's like this small. Yeah. And imagine it's of absolutely no use for women. Yeah. The reason why this was so small is because brands who were selling it in India, mostly incumbents, they were actually importing it from other parts of Asia. Now, Indian women have a different use case, and Panty line is effectively a product which is used on the other days, excluding your menstrual cycle days, for regular discharges, etc. And when women in India were using it for supplies period, and they were also using it towards the end of the cycle, so to save on the cost of pad. So we're like, their use cases of a pseudo pad, this product clearly is of no use. That's when you built actually this product, where we actually did a slightly longer length. So all the ones that were selling before us were like 15 centimeters.
Okay.
Ours was 185, 18 and a half centimeter.
Nice.
It was a straight one. It was slightly thicker.
Yeah.
We were like, market is going towards thinnest stuff. We were making it thick. Everybody wants convenience of carrying it into a trifold. You're making it straight. And at each and every, I think it was entirely counterintuitive of what market was thinking. And this worked wonderfully for us. Now we're selling over 3 million liners every month. We're the market leaders. We're ahead of the incumbents. And the only reason we could do it was because we spoke to those customers. They actually gave us the idea that the product that they're just using it because there's no option available. If they get a better solution, they will use it much more.
Correct.
And now we've been in the journey where we've seen people using liners not just during the menstrual cycle days before and after, they're using it across their follicular, luteal, and even ovulation phases. So we've increased the use case for the same consumers. We've also tapped into more user base, and this product in a way has created its own flywheel growth, right?
Absolutely. No, that's a phenomenal story to hear. And like, I will add, like, coming from a VC background where you were always looking for TAM, I think what you've achieved as an operator is the exact opposite. Kudos to that.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, one thing which would, again, as a founder, I would love to ask you is that when I walked into this office, right, it had such an energetic vibe to it, right? How did you build out this culture? What is the secret behind that? And do you believe this is correlated to kind of the innovation mindset that you brought into the team?
It is a mix of a couple of things. We've in some ways always looked for younger talent who's more agile, because we believe that if you were to actually get the right talent who has that grit, you can perhaps train them into eventually taking up any role that we may need them to. And I think to set up this culture, I think it's been a effort of several years, and the team actually plays much more a rather important role in even what we do, right?
Yeah.
We kind of set it up initially, and then it was all led by all the respective leads of the team. So we try and in some way keep the average age below 30. To be really honest, and
Yep.
And we also feel that people who are just driven, who totally believe in this category. See, it's a very impact-driven category. When we hear our customer stories, when we go for customer interactions, it gives us goosebumps because people say that their lives have entirely changed because of using some of our products. Women, like even I'd say older women, saying that I used to get such frequent UTIs. And it was such a pain for me ever since I started using PeeSafe. I don't get as many UTIs. So we believe that people who would be driven with this purpose are the right fit for us. So always looking for smarter, purpose-driven folks who are also fairly agile and can be put into different, work. So yeah, there's no secret sauce, honestly. I wish I would know it.
I think I would totally agree to that. This product has definitely changed the way we've started using public washrooms. I remember I would not drink water for hours. I would not use it at any cost. I would search for 5 stars only, and even then end up having like really bad experiences. With this, I know I'll spray this, and even if it's a mid washroom, I can make do with it. So I think I totally agree to what the women have said, that this has changed their lives for sure. And I think that also brings me to my next section. How has GobbleCube changed PeeSafe's life? I would probably put a little more light on that now.
Of course.
And I think they've picked a very interesting product, which is, Panty liners. And we would like to know a little more on how your journey has been on Q-Comm specifically. What do you think about it? Where do you think are we heading with it? Do you think it's a change that is coming in the shopper behavior? And how does that impact your journey? If you could just tell us a little more about that.
No, I think for us, one of the things which is very important is that we need to be where the customers are, right? And therefore, we, even when we started our business or distribution, we were present at very unconventional places. And people were saying like, "Yahan kahan bikega?" We used to sell at dhabas, because we realized our customers' pain point is they don't want to use. I mean, you stop only at the best dhaba that there is on the way to say Jaipur or Chandigarh, where you feel that you will still get a decent washroom. So imagine right outside the washroom, there's somebody selling PeeSafe to you. So it's like it's a bang on sort of and then we used to sell at airports. So any travel detail you pick up that, and that we realize that it's very important because if you were to say follow the traditional FMCG route of distribution marketing, we would be say maybe present at kiranas and all, where maybe our customers would not even figure out what this product is, right? So from there to now, we've seen that okay, nearly all of our customers are now using quick commerce. It may be the other way around, that there are more customers on quick commerce who are not aware of our brand. Like our estimation says that we've served almost 15 million customers to date, and clearly quick commerce serves much more than that nearly on a monthly basis. So and which is why I think until maybe I'd say beginning of last year, I wasn't personally spending time on it. It was largely still in some ways distribution driven. We had distributors regionally, so we're like, it's we just need to do supply chain. Yeah, business is going to come anyway. Let's continue to focus on overall offline business or e-commerce. But when we saw this becoming a serious, sizable business, is when my time and personally some of our teammates, we changed their view towards QuickComm. We started looking at data, and in just 6 months period where you guys have actually been a part of our QuickComm journey, we've seen nearly a 2x scale in 6 months, even at a decent base of I think the most important role that Gobble has played in our journey is the visibility of availability. I think we keep debating the biggest lever for our growth on quick commerce is going to be availability. And before actually Gobble, we didn't have a proper visibility of availability. So we were just working on assumptions. Somebody would sit manually and check on each and every pin code, etc. At least the top 15-20 pin codes, and then do the math. But this the fact that now there's so much data available, some of it is can be then also be taken to the right sort of category managers and clearly actionables, right? So I think all of that has helped us significantly, and to say the least, I think now we're trying to marry Gobble data with other channels. We're also utilizing it to get insights on a micro market level data for our offline business. So and for us, interestingly, in a very short span of time now, QuickComm, e-com and offline is a third each. so and there are very interesting insights that come about when you marry this data actually.
Yeah, so I think it's brands like PeeSafe who've also helped us evolve our product. I think in past 1 year we've also gone from data to insights to be agentic, that people will be there with you doing what exactly needs to be done. So I'm very happy to hear this, that this has helped in growth of your brand as well. Maybe if we pick not absolute numbers but some relative numbers, how exactly has Panty liners grown? You said the digital shelf has really helped you understand the availability bit. Could you maybe quantify in terms of what the growth has looked like?
So I think on QuickComm, say April this year, we must be at like a overall 10% kind of market share, whereas everywhere else we were at a decent market share. But just by fixing availability, going to more number of stores, increasing the listing percentage, B, increasing the OSA, on-shelf availability, I think we were able to see a 4x scale, and now we're at roughly a 30% kind of market share.
Wow.
So and we in this journey we've been able to take, I think we were ahead of all the incumbents, and it's a category which is also seen a 2x growth in the same time period. So category is growing, our share in the category is also growing, and there's clear, and we wish to retain this or even do it better in coming quarters, right? Yes.
Yeah, I think that's once you understand the playbook, you can replicate it on other products as well.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that's also in your roadmap. Do you have a criteria as to what products you should be listing on QComm? How do you have a selection over there?
So I'll give you a brief overview of our business. We have broadly 3 categories: toilet, feminine, and grooming. Toilet is 20%, 55% is feminine, and nearly 25% is grooming. Grooming is our full range of products. Within this, we only have 35 products. The SKU count could be slightly higher, given that, just on the spray we have like 30 SKUs, different fragrances, different size of bottles, different pack sizes, etc. And and then what we've done is we further divided the products. Out of these 35, we've selected 12 products which are the potatoes for us, nearly driving 70-75% of our revenue, right? So there are 4 products driving 40% of our revenue, and the next set of 8 products that drive another 30-35%. For us, it is very crucial or important to have all those core and focus products on quick commerce.
Yeah.
And at least all the cores are present in retail stores as well. Focus products are now going into retail as well. So criteria is very clear, and these core products are products where we have the view, at least the visibility of taking individual product to 100 crore kind of journey, right? So for us, that's like a criteria, and the focus may eventually become a part of core or may not, but they can be a sizable 10, 15, 20 crore annual revenue scale product. So with this ideology, we scale. And these products, the 12 products that I mentioned, they have to be there across all channels, across all dark stores, which is what we're solving on a daily basis. How do we increase the listing percentage of these products across all the platforms?
I hope you're using all GobbleCube products apart from just digital shelf to help you scale.
No, I think there is we will do some form of workshop soon where we'll imbibe in the team to use all the products all the time. This right now, I think most of it is concentrated towards availability, visibility, and largely by the quick commerce team. Now we're actually seeing how Gobble can also be utilized or leveraged for e-commerce. And how do we do these benchmarking across these various platforms? And I was actually the happiest to know that you guys have entered MENA and very specifically GCC, because for us that's a focus market, and we've been seeing within the 2 years time MENA has become like a almost a 3% kind of business for us of our overall revenue. So we really feel that we want to scale and understand what's happening there.
But how do you see that evolution in the MENA market, Rishit? What gave the conviction? Because a lot of brands, right, mull over going global, right? But I think hats off to you guys that you've actually taken that plunge, right? But how's that journey been, and how do you see that evolving?
I think for us, it was 2 parts. When we did some of these products, they were not present globally, or whether even if they were present globally, they were not really large enough. So for us, it was sort of like a entirely white space, right? So we had to go and build things from scratch. And GCC happened to be a market of focus because we figured that the diaspora, especially in UAE, was similar. So we were like, let's go test it out in UAE. We did that, but we didn't see a larger scale as such. It was when we entered Saudi Arabia is when we realized that there is a lot of potential in this market. We spent some time in Riyadh and Jeddah, and now we're seeing that our hero product, just in 2 cities, does nearly same or sometimes even higher numbers than what it does in NCR.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it's there's a clear product market fit. Now, it's 2 parts: our ability to scale within GCC and are able to replicate that playbook across other regions. So we're doing that in some form in Nepal. We've shied away from Southeast Asia still, but I mean, eventually if we do get if we're able to build KSA as a larger market, we might even expand there. But yeah, we don't want to scatter too much. There is, I mean, our product might still be available in over 20 countries, but the markets that we're building are just a handful. And thankfully for that, we've had a great team to look after it. My time personally, almost 100% is domestic. So yeah.
But coming to the India problem statement that you talked about, Rishit, now a lot of times what you see is, as a team, there is a first problem that you're gunning for and you solve for that, right? But the moment you start solving for that, a lot of the higher order problems start becoming very, very obvious. Is that something that has been part of your journey, growth journey as well, where you're saying, like you mentioned, like availability, but for example, the toilet sanitizer, once you guys solved for availability, did you kind of see some new problem statements that became apparent, and how can we work together to like enable that problem solving?
It is true. I think as you go ahead in this journey, you start finding newer, unique, more complex problem in the journey, right? And then I think it's like a step ladder kind of a growth, right? So you have to take those steps and reach somewhere to actually identify those problems in the first place.
Yes.
So I think for us, I think there've been some feedbacks on the product which I was in fact even discussing with you offline.
Yep.
That given if we had visibility on, say, pricing, like for example, we solved the availability challenge for our spray.
Yeah.
We went from like a 70% to now nearly 95% plus. And once we got there, we realized, okay, clearly 2x scale in 6 months period, but how do I retain value? And there are always some events or sales that keep happening. So how do we keep a track on pricing? Because there is a larger trickle down. Given that we're an omni-channel brand, this product is selling in nearly 40,000 retailers. They stop taking our orders the minute they see that some platform is discounting more than even 10-15%, because the retailer makes 1/5 of the price of the product at the end of the day, right? So we have to manage the whole thing very swiftly or sensitively, so that we don't end up affecting our pricing. So pricing is clearly one of that module. I think this feedback around how do we visualize the regional sales also, because we like seeing maps and we like studying micro markets. So we have understanding of pin codes, but I think a further deeper understanding of cities and micro markets would be really, really helpful. With some of that, we're actually doing it in-house with our team, where we're basically marrying the data across all channels and then visualizing it. But some of it could be available off the shelf, and UAs are the tech gurus in this, so we would rather rely on you and rather than building our own.
Absolutely. So I think that's definitely feedback taken. But again, as we go deeper in this, right, I think one of the things that we were discussing offline as well is the panty liners that we were talking about. I think it is phenomenal how you've grown the category, you've grown the top line, but you've also kind of improved the ROAS on it as well, I think, and that is kind of like the holy grail when it comes to brands. So I think hats off to the team for actually pulling that off as well.
Thank you. I think for us, ROAS has been the last metric to measure. It's more of an outcome of all the work that goes behind on solving availability, in some form, pricing, etc. I think, we've started to get overall full view of ROAS now, to be really honest, because we're like, this business is not going to be built on marketing.
Absolutely.
Nobody needs to, I mean, you see, unless there was a lot of competition, then the challenge is very different. If we have a winning product and our customer love, we will never face the challenge of marketing. So in our hero product, we do a 40x ROAS. When I tell this to some of the VCs, they go bonkers, like, it's not possible. Like, this, it doesn't require marketing, this doesn't require performance marketing spend. What we have built over the years is a solid, funnel of education and awareness, right?
Yes.
Our categories, they were non-existent, so we had to educate people about why they needed to use it.
Yes.
So our time, effort, investment went towards education and awareness, and both online and offline. So unlike it was very convenient for us to do influencer marketing and do like a paid collaboration with some celebrity on YouTube, Instagram. But we did the legwork of actually going into schools, colleges, offices, talking to even kitty parties and talking to women about PeeSafe. And I think all of that is in some ways paid off now that people have realized why they want to use it.
Yeah.
And thankfully the mode for us now has become the brand name. There is when somebody goes to a retail store, or even when they search online, they search for PeeSafe and they don't search for toilet spray.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think hats off to that.
I think there's a lot of content that I also see on your page, which is about education, and it just sort of feels really good to see that. I think that's the kind of marketing we need today, which is also very, very impact driven. And I would say I love the initiatives that you take in that direction.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was more around panty liners that we had. Then when we talk to brands, you also see that they try to run a lot of experiments using our tool, right? Would you have any such experiment in your mind which you thought would, let's just try something new with this, with the insights that the tool has given? Is there anything that you ran and saw really good impact?
I think we haven't really done a lot of experiment. If we have, actually, I think the view of those micro experiment only comes to me once they become sizable. Then, so I'm sure these guys are doing a lot of stuff on that. But I'll tell you the larger, experiment. They were clearly categories which were practically non-existent on some of the marketplaces. I can't name them, or other quick commerce platform, where we were able to build those to a meaningful scale on, say, X, and we were able to show it to Y that, listen, this guy is doing X, and given your salience in the market, you should do at least half of that. If you're really today you're zero, why don't you build this category with me?
Yeah.
So we've been able to support the category teams at the QuickComm platforms to build newer categories, right? And when you are somebody who's done that to an extent, you always have the right of first refusal or right to win.
Yeah,
So we've been able to build our own credibility with the channel, as well as build the category for them.
I think the ethos that even the team here at GobbleCube has is also very much similar, to empower brands to support what they're trying to say to, platforms in a world where, there's a lot of chaos, at least in that particular world. So I think the team would be very happy to hear about this also.
Yeah.
Manas, do you have any other questions around the product?
No, I think it has been a super useful conversation, Rishit, and I think genuinely PeeSafe is a team that we've loved working with. I think the curiosity that they bring on the table, I think, is something which also helps us grow, like Drishti was mentioning. It also helps us grow, think, and create products. So really appreciate that. Appreciate the time that you've spent with us. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for taking all the time and sort of doing a whole walkthrough of all that you're doing at GobbleCube. And we hope to actually be a part of your growth journey as well, as you are a part of ours.
Absolutely. No, so looking forward to that. And I think as you expand your footprint in beyond India, right? I think we're really looking forward to that collaboration as well.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Take care.